remains at that time. From that age till death, everything that you do, you will be accountable. So of course, at that time, when a person reaches there, and many of you will be aware, and many of you may be still aware of this, may be going through these phases at the moment, but when you reach the age of maturity, and the first 10 odd years is the peak of a person's carnal desire. Hence the result of such calamity in society. According to the Islamic principles, it is advised that if a person can and is possible to marry after the process of clear mental development, clear physical development, then the person should marry. What is the average rate? The average age? The average age for girls is 17 and for boys is 19. That's an average age. It doesn't mean that it has to be then. But it's important that people understand that. When the body is developed, the organs of the body are developed, and when the person's mental state is developed. When those things are developed, the person should marry. And the Prophet ﷺ said, "Ayyuha shabab, O young people, whoever amongst you is able to fulfill the responsibilities of nikah." Remember I said before, you have to be mentally able to be responsible. So a person who is can fulfill the responsibilities of marriage, then should get married, shouldn't waste time. The Prophet ﷺ also said, "O Ali," to Ali radiallahu, his son-in-law, said, "O Ali, don't delay in 3 matters in life. 3 things in life you should never delay in. Number 1, you should never delay salah upon its prescribed time. So if you hear the adhan, don't delay. Don't say, I'll pray all the salah, it's winter, I'll pray everything later on, all in one go. No. Pray your salah on time, so don't delay. Number 2 is that when a person dies, don't delay in their burial. Don't wait to send them to Pakistan or to send them to India, Bangladesh, to Morocco, to Syria, wherever. Don't delay. A person dies, quick, within 24 hours, within a few hours, get their ghusl done, get them the janazah done, and get them buried. Don't waste time. And thereafter, because what are you going to do? By wasting time. You ever ask a question there?
I was going to ask you why is that?
Why that is important?
Yeah.
Because when a person has died, the connection with the world is finished. And the accountability has begun. Even if we don't put a person inside their grave, the accountability begins already from the spirit. So, and if you don't put a person in their grave quick as possible, they go through pain and difficulty. When you hit a dead body, you can feel the pain. So these things, that's why it's impermissible. So you should quickly get them married. And the third thing is nikah. The Prophet ﷺ said, when a person is able to marry, has the responsibilities, is stable, and can look, has carnal desire, don't delay, quickly get married. What are the few that I'm going to quickly go through some of the characteristics you need to look at when you get looking for a good partner. Number 1, aqeedah. Make sure that they have the correct aqeedah, correct basic beliefs. If a person thinks that after Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani is a prophet, their aqeedah is corrupt. They are not a Muslim. So just because somebody claims Muslim is not enough. You have to make sure that aqeedah, they are from the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. You have to make sure that their aqeedah is correct. Number 2, you should see that if this person is practicing or not. They might not pray 5 times a day, but they should have an inclination towards ibadah. If they're practicing, even better. Number 3, they should have good character. Trust me, that is important. A person might be pious, but if they've got crap character, you're in big trouble. Right? So make sure they have good character. Number 3, they have good stance in community. Number 1, 2, 3, 4th one is transaction. So you guys are right. MashaAllah, photographic memory, you remember all this. Transaction, they should be renowned, they should be known, they shouldn't be a thief, shouldn't be a person who deceives people, shouldn't be a person who carries tales. You do your research to find all of that out. Another one, I'm saying number, I don't know what number it is. Another one is health, they should have good health. It's important. You should try to find a partner who has good health. Another one is relationship. In other words, it doesn't have that much of an effect, but if you know the person, it's even better. Through however that may be, but there should be some sort of a relationship. There should be somebody that should know them. You don't just want to marry any stranger from the streets. You should be able to do your research, find out who knows them, some information about them. Another, temperament is a big one. Sisters, especially, make sure that the brother who you get married to or who you're already married to, they should have a low temperament. They shouldn't get angry over anything. So a temperament, and even the other way around. Even the woman that you guys get married to, shouldn't get angry over a petty thing. So it's important. Education, there should be a similar education. Whatever education you have, there should be a similar education which the sister has, and vice versa. If a sister has a degree in physics and she gets married to an uneducated from back home, there's no compatibility. That's why it's important that there should be compatibility. housekeeping skills for both the boy and the girl. It's important. And you know, us guys think, you know what, the cooking, cleaning the house, changing the nappy is the wife's job. Trust me, it's not the wife's job. You'll see, it's not the wife's job. Okay? And Islam teaches us that everybody should have responsibility. The Prophet ﷺ left us the greatest example. He would do the home chores, cleaning the house, sewing his clothes, cleaning the tables and so on. When you're looking for a partner after you found all these things, it's important that you make dua to Allah. Make dua, say, Allah, give me a partner who will be the coolness of my eyes and a success for me in this world and in the hereafter. You may find all the qualities, but it might be, when you get together, it might be like a house on fire. It shouldn't be the case. That's why it is important. On top of everything else, on top of your research, on top of your family commitments, make dua to Allah. Oh Allah, give me a partner. So Allah teaches in the Quran, رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ. Oh Allah, give us wives and children, and the other way of give us husbands who are the coolness of our eyes. وَجَعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. Oh Allah, make them مُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. Make them amongst the pious. Allah teaches us, when you're looking for partners, this is the dua you should pray. Make us amongst the pious and amongst the people who are the leaders. And what our colleague of mine used to say, for 10 years he made dua that Allah give him a pious wife. He made dua for 10 years. And he goes, now, alhamdulillah, I am in a marriage. I've been married for 8-9 years. Till today, I've not been able to raise a finger on my wife. In other words, I've not been able to see any issues in my wife. And that's quite shocking. You know, at times people are married for 8 weeks and there are so many problems. And there are other people married for 10 years and never have a problem. So it's important. Okay, let's quickly move on. Are we allowed to marry non-Muslims? Simply, there's much to be said. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says it is impermissible for a Muslim to marry an idolater or idolatress. You're not allowed to marry people who associate partners with Allah. Simple. You're not allowed to marry the Hindus and others. You're not allowed to marry Shah Rukh Khan, who's married to a Hindu lady. He's married to a Hindu lady, isn't he? And trying to justify it according to the teachings of the Quran. Allah says, وَلَا تُنْكِحُ الْمُشْرِكِينَ حَتَّى يُؤْمِنُ. And Allah is going to say that do not marry a man who is an idolater except that they believe. Do not marry a woman who is an idolater except that they believe. But then Islam has allowed for a man, Muslim man only, to marry a Christian or a Jewish woman. But a Muslim woman is not allowed to marry a Christian man or a Jewish woman. And there are a number of reasons for that, which time will not allow me to explain. But there are a number of reasons for that. If you do your own research, you will find Ibn Hanbal and others have written so much work around that. But one of the main things is that I'm going to have to marry today's day and age Christians. Majority of today's West, especially in England anyway, are people who don't believe in no God. They are ones who believe in no God or have no connection. They think that there's no such thing as the supreme being. But then they still attend church. They still, claim to be Christians. Those people are not who the Quran is talking about. The Quran is talking about those people who believe in one Allah. They may associate and say Jesus is the Son of God. That's different. But those people who say there is only one Allah, you are allowed to marry them. Okay? So that means a Muslim man is allowed to marry a Jewish woman or a Christian woman who are truly Christian or truly Jewish. And the Quran calls them Ahlul Kitab, the people of the book. Now, what have the ulama written? The ulama say, though Allah has allowed this, but as we see, as I said earlier, the degradation of society, it is advised that a person should try their best to marry a woman or a man who's Muslim. Right? Obviously, if a person falls in love with a Christian woman, you're allowed to marry them. You're allowed to marry them. It's best that you, I'm not going to say it's best that you get married, you fall in love with a Muslim woman. That doesn't happen. But what I'm trying to say is, it's best that you marry a woman or a man who's Muslim. And Allah mentions that, to the Prophet has advised as well, that it's best. Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, he did not allow men, at his era, that was at the time of Umar, a few years after the death of the Prophet, he did not allow men marrying Christian or Jewish women. He said, because if you're Muslim women, why do you need to marry them for? So he wouldn't allow it. Though in the Quran it says you're allowed to marry, so the Quran is a book of reality. It's there for principle. If we can make do with others, then take advantage of that. So remember, you get married to, I'll give you an example of, I don't want to use names, but an example of an Indian actor who's married to a Hindu woman. the child goes to the mosque, and he goes to the Hindu temple as well. When the child grows up, he'll be mentally confused. Do I follow Ram and Krishna, or do I follow Allah? So naturally it has an effect. So that's why it's important you should try to marry Muslims. Okay, who are you not allowed to marry? These are the people who you're not allowed to marry, and you're allowed to marry everybody else. Who are they? Allah says, حرمت عليكم أمهاتكم وبناتكم وأخواتكم وأخواتكم حرمت عليكم أمهاتكم وبناتكم. It is prohibited upon you, impermissible upon you to marry your mothers, your daughters, your sisters. Please register this with your photographic memory. Yeah. So Allah says you are not allowed to marry your mothers, your daughters, your sisters, the sisters of your fathers, the sisters of your mothers, the daughters of your brother, the daughters of your sister, your nursing mother, the mother who breastfeeds you. The girls who are nursed by the same woman who has nursed you. Okay? The woman who has given you milk, you're not allowed to marry the women who have also drinking the same milk from that woman. And the mothers of your wives. Allah Ta'ala is on to say, and the daughters of your wives with whom you have consummated marriage, you're not allowed to marry them. If the marriage has not been consummated, then you may marry the daughters. In other words, if they are from a different marriage, so you marry a woman who has children from previous marriages, then they are permissible upon you. Also haram for you are the women who are married to your genetic sons. Also you shall be married two sisters. You're not allowed to marry two sisters at the same time, but do not break up existing marriages. This is a condition. It's in the Quran. It's in Surah An-Nisa, verse number 23. If you look it up, you will find the conditions in there. Keep in mind that you are allowed to marry your cousin's sisters. Those people who are not here in that verse of the Quran are those people who are your ghayr mahram. Those are the people that you have to keep a distance from. Includes your cousin sisters. We tend to keep, they are backstone, don't worry about your cousin sisters, they're like a real sister, don't worry. But the Quran says no, you should keep a distance, because they are the people that you are allowed to marry. Okay, contracting a marriage and their customs. Obviously there's two types of marriage that normally takes place in this country amongst Muslims. One is the arranged marriage, and the other is the love marriage or a relationship marriage. Obviously there are whole different procedures for them. The majority of the marriages that take place are arranged marriages. But what we need to understand is, however these arranged marriages may be, there's all these cultural things happen on there in marriages. So many cultural things. Now, before I'll take you through them. But at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, marriage was simple. Simple procedure. It was a contract between the wife and the husband. Nikah was done, game over. What happens nowadays? It's a whole process. A year in advance, you know who you're getting married to. Okay, now it's become such that you're given the opportunity to link up with them. Every family is alright. She comes to your house, you go to her house, I don't no problem. Right? You're married to her. But you know who you're going to get married to. The whole year's preparation takes place. And even though there's so much tension, so much worry, so much financial, people remortgage their houses, so many things happen. All of this is absolutely impermissible. Absolutely impermissible. Ali karramallahu wajhah. You know how he got married to the wife of the Prophet, the daughter of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Fatima. He came once to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sat in front of him, and he was greatly embarrassed and bashful. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Oh Ali, I know where you have come for. You have come to propose to my daughter Fatima, Sayyidatu Nisa'i Ahlul Jannah. She will be the princess of the women of Jannah, and you have come to propose to my daughter." That's how I've come for. So the Prophet said, "Don't worry. Allah has sent Jibreel to come to me and say to me, 'Oh Muhammad, give your daughter in marriage to Ali.'" Allah had sent him Angel Jibreel from the heavens, and he said, "Ali." And then that was it. And what happened? Quick procedure. What happened? Obviously the Prophet spoke to Fatima. She was Ya Rasulullah. Said, "Father, whatever you say, I'm happy." The Prophet said, "What have you got?" Ali radiallahu anhu didn't have anything. The Prophet made him, whatever he had, his armor, sell that off, get a few dinars, and give that in mahar, not dowry, but as a gift to the wife, and you're married. Simple. The Prophet sent his daughter, Fatima, with Ayman, one of the women who looked after the Prophet when he was young. She took his daughter Fatima to the house of her husband, Ali radiallahu anhu. He sent with her a few, a pillow, a duvet, a few pots. Ali was very poor, and the marriage. That was it, What do we go through? So much headache. It's unbelievable. Okay. when you have chosen a partner, when you have chosen somebody,